The amalgamation of the state-of-the-art exposition and strategic technology seminars to give you the best of today and the expectations of tomorrow. IT Asia 94 has really grown over 100% from IT Asia 93. By announcing IT Asia 95 today, the first day of this exposition, we are inviting all to make these 4 days every year as a base for information technology exchange in this part of the world. Welcome you all once again, and the Honorable Minister and the distinguished guests, and would request our President MAIT, Mr. K.R. Palta, to kindly address the gathering. Thank you.
About, often much maligned. However, it is perhaps the only industry which, even before the economic reforms, started offering to the Indian user products which were no different from those available in the rest of the world. Indeed, it has always kept pace in technology. Since 1984, this industry has made great strides, recording a compound annual growth of 40%, and which was a growth of 39% over the previous year. The industry has nearly 300 hardware, software, and training companies, which together employ directly or otherwise as much as 80,000 people. In the current year, the signs are good, and we are hoping for 50% growth. The industry can see the turnover doubling in the next 3 years and hopes to quickly reach the magic figure of 1 million PCs a year. However, all this good news is not good enough and does not make us happy. The industry contributes barely 0.8% to the GDP, and the key issue for the Indian IT industry is that the volumes produced in India are suboptimal, and therefore prices of products produced in India are higher than in other parts of the world. Clearly, computer awareness and computer usage are woefully low, and we still have far to go. The situation can have a serious bearing of an adverse nature on the effectiveness of the government's economic reforms. The requirement today is of electronic commerce, but the world is using IT as a competitive advantage, and therefore there's an urgent need for computerization on a large scale in our country, in all segments. This is the challenge both for the government and the industry, and certainly for MAIT. Major role, and we request for recognition of this. First, the demand for IT has to be greatly increased. This is to be through education and awareness about the benefits of IT usage, the commercial advantage that it gives. The government is necessarily to be the biggest player in this, and we would like to see the government taking the lead by initiating computerization programs in its departments, and 20% after that. Such significant reductions in price will stimulate further growth. Essentially, we are saying that in computer manufacture, there are only a few critical and key inputs like the microprocessor, the memory modules, hard disk drives, and items like that. And these are the ones that need to be looked at. These contribute nearly 60% of the material cost of the CPU, and none of these are made in India, nor are they likely to be. Therefore, import duty on these items must be reduced considerably, down to as low as 10% in order that the finished product price drops. We fully support the government's policy of continually bringing down the import tariff on finished products from the present 65% to possibly 50% in the coming year, and then even lower in subsequent years, to be in line with the Chelaya Committee's recommendations, is our way of thinking. Again, this will result in the availability of cheaper products to the Indian user. It is no secret that there is a thriving grey market in the computer business, and we believe about 30% of PCs used in India are bought from this market. We estimate that presently the annual revenue loss is of the order of rupees 250 crores. So the government loses and the organized industry loses precious business opportunities. The enforcement authorities are taking punitive action from time to time, but the menace shows no sign of abating. Our view is that along with strict enforcement, the approach should be to make the grey market operation itself financially unattractive. And this can be achieved by greatly lowering import duties on those items that are being smuggled. Our proposal of 10% duty on specific items mentioned earlier aims at this, and hence, if implemented, it will cripple the grey market, strengthen Indian manufacture, and importantly, increase the government's revenue. We have seen from examples in other countries that allowing of 100% depreciation on investment in computers has been a tremendous market stimulant, which has given a jump start to the country's computerization. Our government must consider this device for increasing computer usage, and we will be submitting a proposal shortly. While a strong domestic demand is essential and can be created by the approach just mentioned, it is simply not enough for an industry of this kind. We have been keenly aware of this, and for a long time, MAIT has worked closely with the industry to promote exports and in fact to create an export-led domestic industry rather than a domestic industry that also exports. In this regard, the government's schemes of STPs, EHTPs, EOUs and others have been a major driving force, and we wish to compliment Mr. Vittal and the DOE for this. While software exports have been buoyant, and we also see good market opportunities for leveraging Indian design capabilities, there is some worry about hardware exports. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, this effort suffered quite a setback, and although since then good growth is being sustained, we feel it should be much more. Contract manufacture is one area that the industry feels it can excel in, and we already have some very successful enterprises. Certainly, more will come. Our desire, however, is that Indian brands and companies must become internationally accepted and join the league of multinationals. This requires skillful and sustained international marketing and brand promotion. The industry has skills, but not the financial ability. Establishing brand equity on its own in the fiercely competitive area, the international arena, will be impossible for any Indian company, no matter how successful it is at home. We therefore seek the government's help here. We request the government that it creates a financial fund and provides help to Indian companies in all possible ways to establish Indian brands in the international market. We request you, sir, to give this your consideration. One segment of IT in India that continues to be of great concern is training. There's shortage of trained manpower, and the shortage is getting worse with time. Many excellent institutions have been established which provide quality education. And of course, there are many that do not. MAIT has involved itself deeply in trying to address the two aspects of the problem, that is the quality of the education as well as quantity. I hope this will be adequately demonstrated in IT Asia 94. I had earlier mentioned that this industry came into its own only 10 years back. Here the reference is to the 1984 computer policy of late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. That was the takeoff point for India's IT industry, and since then it has come a long way and much has happened. It may not be out of place for us to suggest that it is time for a new IT policy document from the government in collaboration with the industry, which would give the same kind of a boost to the industry that it got 10 years back. On our part, we are already putting our heads together along with other industry associations which are concerned with IT and creating a paper. We hope the government will accept it. I thank you.
Shri Pranab Mukherjee ji, Mr. Mahesh Prasad, Mr. Palta, Mr. Gopal Srinivasan, Mr. Ashok Advani, Mr. Vikram Dasgupta, Mr. Chopra, and my dear friends. I am delighted to be here this morning, and actually I am deputizing for the Minister of State, Mr. Pellero, who has to be in the last moment away from Delhi. I am very grateful on behalf of the Department of Electronics and the industry that Honorable Minister Shri Pranab Mukherjee has found time to be with us, the electronic industry in this country. As Minister for Commerce, he looks after the export angle, and when we are talking about globalization in this era of liberalization and so on, he is the key minister and the key ministry so far as the export are concerned. At the same time, he is also Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission, and in that capacity, he is looking after the development of the industry within the country and overall doing the planning and the strategies and so on. So I think we are very fortunate, sir, that you combining these two responsibilities have been able to come and be with us, so that what I may be making now, so that this will not be a formal function alone, but it is also going to be the beginning of a further growth and a further boost of the information technology industry in this country. I was just reflecting how appropriate that not only we have got Mr. Pranab Mukherjee here for this function, we are also meeting in the open. As far as I know, this is the first time MAIT is having such a function in the open. And we all know that it is open systems that have been the driving force of the growth of the industry. And I think it is symbolic. We are in the open. Government of India, with the 1991 liberalization policy, have opened up the market. They have opened shall we say, the doors open so that technology can flow in and Indian industry can also plug into the global market and compete effectively. And we welcome it open arms with the spirit of the Rigveda, which talks about let ideas and good thoughts come to us from every side. Ano badraha kritavo yanta vishwataha. So now that we are in the open and taking advantage of the presence of the minister, I would like to place before you and the industry some points. Because Mr. Palta made it appear as if that it is the responsibility of the government who have to do a number of things for diffusion, etc. Actually, as the great success India has achieved in the area of beauty, Miss Universe and Miss World are both from India, and that has been done without government assistance. So I would like you to think of the what is the scope that is there for the Indian industry and in IT industry to do in this area. I was very happy, and you must all be wondering, I'm asking, you see, Peter Drucker says, if things are running all right, you should start wondering, why is it running all right? Now, we used to hear complaints, and just now we have heard both, I think, Vikram Dasgupta and Mr. Palta give figures about the significant growth achieved this year compared to last year so far as computers are concerned. Why is it so? It's because the policy initiatives taken by the government in 1991 are now yielding fruits. And especially if you take an area like the financial sector, whether it is a national stock exchange, whether it is the over-the-counter exchange of India, whether it's banking or insurance, you find this movement towards liberalization and opening of the financial sector is providing, I think, one of the basic thrusts for the growth of the IT industry which we are witnessing today, and we must cash in on that. On the other source, telecommunication is a basic infrastructure for growth. In these days, when we are talking about competition, we are talking about velocity of business, we are talking about time-based competition, we are talking about just-in-time inventory and so on. So for that, you need state-of-the-art telecommunication. Government's policy of National Telecom Policy provides for that. But more important for us in the information technology is this, that from the era of standalone brontosaurus-sized computers, we have come to the era of PCs or advanced workstations, and those which have a lot of intelligence packed in them, and the ever-growing strength of the client-server network, and we are talking now about the WAN, the LAN, and naturally a network of networks. We are talking about internet and interconnectivity. And this interconnectivity is not possible unless you are able to have state-of-the-art telecommunication, particularly satellite communication, whether it is VSAT or Intelsat, whatever. So the liberal policy of the government in telecommunication has opened an opportunity for the private sector to come in a big way. I think Business India itself is an example here. Mr. Advani represents that trust of the private sector taking an initiative in networking India, in knitting India with the rest of the global economy, and because of the network, our getting velocity of business substantially enhanced. So this is another happy development. So we see the financial sector, the telecommunication sector as factors that are driving the growth of the this IT industry. Now there is one more effort we are making, and this is about the Members of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme. Now, government has placed at the disposal of Members of Parliament 1 crore each to spend in their constituency. So we are submitting a proposal through our Department of Electronics after consulting the Ministry of Program Implementation and the Rural Development, that whether some of these this 1 crore of rupees which is available for every constituency can be diverted towards information technology or development of a computer literate Indian youth in the future. What we are suggesting is put a computer in every high school, 75,000 of them are there. Put a computer, a modem and a printer in every college, then we can link it with the education and research network of the DOE, Department of Electronics, which has just been very much appreciated because, as you know, $6 million we got from the UNDP, 350 institutions have been connected, and this is working very successfully. The UNDP's team which came last month rated the performance as excellent. We have a hub at Bangalore and 20 VSATs. We want to cover all of this. And the third one is employment generation in every constituency using VSAT. As you are aware, today whatever is in the books can be put into a computer readable form, and it can go into CD-ROM, it can go into databases, and that requires a lot of manpower, or shall we say woman power, in converting the books into machine readable form, inputting of data. And that we can do in every constituency, every town in this country. Today, a lot of people, particularly women, are getting jobs in Philippines, in the Caribbean, and so on, and it is a $3 billion industry. Can we not have a share of that action? So we are suggesting to the honorable members of parliament through our minister, the letter is going, saying, why don't you put a VSAT in every taluka or somewhere and create jobs so that you have computer literate students coming 5 years from now from the high schools, you have the colleges being knit in the ER network and accessing to databases, and you have jobs created throughout the length and breadth of this country. So that is what the government of India through the Department of Electronics is trying to do in creating a market. But as I was telling you, giving the example of our success in beauty contest, if IT has to win a beauty contest which will bring smiles to every company, they should think in terms of further building on this. Two examples I will give and I will finish. One is the right now, next month there is going to be a World Tamil Conference. Now in our country, we have 18 languages. How much of our computers have gone into the native languages? How much? We don't talk in the native idiom. Hardly 3% of the people in this country know English. Now, in the World Tamil Conference, which is there in the first week of in January in Tanjavur in Tamil Nadu. Now, if suppose some company were to go and say that we will use information technology to see that we put on the computer database form all the literature in Tamil, all the ancient manuscripts which are in palm leaf and so on, all the cultural heritage of this country which is lying in museums and so on, some initiative has been taken. But if Tamil Nadu does it, I am sure, whether it is Bengal or Telugu, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, every state is proud of its language. And here is a market for you. But it will mean you have to go and sell the idea. And imagine, this is also apart from other things, making our people realize the cultural heritage of our country using information technology, and future research in our languages also will get a very valuable